Hello, lovely friends. I hope everyone is having a wonderful Sunday evening so far. Um, it's Jen here, and for those of you who don't know me, I am the leader of this group. I am a self-awareness and nutritional consultant, self-awareness coach and nutritional consultant who helps highly sensitive women to bring more self-awareness to their body, as well as helping to make healthy living and eating more simple, so that you can start to make changes to your health and work on your energy. And so I'm playing around with some different changes, and what I'd like to start doing is going live in here first, and then I will be sharing this video on my other channels. But this way, those of you in my group, you get to have access to this video first. All right, so today I'm going to be talking about why caffeine may not be ideal for you or your health. I know that people absolutely love their coffee, and I totally get it. And you might be thinking, no, please don't, bash my coffee and all of that stuff. And I do get it, okay? So I used to totally love coffee myself. Hi, Lindsay. So glad to see you. It used to be one of my favorite treats. I used to love going to Starbucks and getting a treat and all of that. But eventually, the more I learned about it and the more I noticed how it, made me feel, I realized that it wasn't ideal for me. And so what I'm going to be talking about today is just, more about it in general, and maybe figuring out if it's ideal for you or not. And you can take this information and kind of make that decision for yourself. All right, so just to get started, there are a lot of, yes, I know, I used to be one myself. So there are a lot of apparent health benefits, and I say that in quotes because there are foods out there and things that we consume that are very beneficial to our health, fruits and vegetables and all of those things, and they're just full of nutrients. But coffee, the thing about coffee is that it's kind of a double-edged sword, I guess. Maybe that's not the right termage, but there are benefits. But if you aren't a certain type of person in a certain health state, the benefits are kind of canceled out because it causes other effects in the body. And while coffee can have some health benefits, it's not ideal for everybody. And coffee can increase your energy, and it can in some cases contain some antioxidants and some beneficial properties, but it doesn't necessarily mean that everyone should consume it. My next point is, what isn't mentioned. So, what isn't stated is that coffee is now, because it is so popular, it's become, like many things, mass-produced. And so as a result, many of the coffees that are conventionally bought and where we buy our coffee from don't take the care to properly grow the produce. Their main thing is just to get lots and lots of it. And, so there are practices that kind of aren't ideal, or the care isn't taken there. So, they pick before it's time. They grow it in mass quantities, not allowing for, proper spacing so that the nutrients can be taken from the ground. And coffee is actually one of the things that is fairly heavily sprayed with pesticides and herbicides. And so your average grocery store coffee that you may be buying, Folgers and all of that stuff, may not have really the most or really a lot of nutrients in them because they're highly processed, and there's not a lot of care taken into growing them. So, if you are going to consume coffee, I would suggest getting a nice, fair trade, organic type coffee where at least the company is going to be taking some care to growing it. The other thing is caffeine and hydration. So because coffee is a diuretic, it can take water away from the body. And since most people already, without including the coffee, don't get enough hydration, it can further cause someone dehydration. So it can add to that, and that can cause other imbalances in the body. So, if someone is already getting a lot of hydration and they don't have, other things to worry about, it may not be an issue. But in the case where someone is not getting enough, coffee in this instance can contribute to other health issues. The other thing is caffeine and stress. So when it comes to stress, and I've talked about this in my other videos and other things, when our body recognizes stress, it doesn't matter if it comes from, almost getting in a car accident, or mental stress of driving in traffic, or our work, or our relationships. If we're feeling stress, the response in the body is exactly the same. The same hormones are released, and it gives us more energy temporarily, but when we're exposed to those stresses on a long-term basis, the hormones actually can cause inflammation in the body. And so coffee actually can initiate this stress response in the body because it's a stimulant. So it can contribute to that stress response and the stress in the body. And lastly, when we have caffeine, when we're using it, it can end up covering up certain things in our body. So, if we're constantly consuming coffee, we may not realize how tired we're feeling during the day, or other things that we may be feeling, because the caffeine and all of the hormones that it's causing to be released is covering up those feelings. And so, when we're feeling tired and we're feeling all of these different things, it's a sign that something is off in the body. And so caffeine, in a way, can end up being kind of a Band-Aid. And so if we're not careful, a stressful lifestyle, adding in all of these stimulants, constantly being exposed to these hormones being released, it can lead to burnout in some people. So it's just something, these little things all kind of contribute. And so it's just, we need to be aware of these things and how they affect our body. So, taking all of these things into consideration, when should you consider maybe decreasing or eliminating coffee, depending on your your body. So if you already have a very high stress lifestyle, if you're always feeling stressed, you're always dealing with stress on a daily basis with your job, your home life, maybe you're, for us highly sensitive people, we enter into stress very easily and we feel it for longer. So we are naturally, compared to the general population, being exposed to stress hormones on a more frequently already. And so if you throw in this caffeine, it's just kind of adding to that. Highly sensitive people, in addition, will more often be more sensitive to the effects of caffeine. So, the fluttering of the heart, as well as the shakes and all of those kind of things that people can feel. If you're dealing with chronic illness or inflammation, because like I said, those stress hormones, when we're exposed to them on a regular basis, can cause more inflammation in the body. Cutting out caffeine can help to, eliminate that contribution to the inflammation. If you're feeling tired on a regular basis and you're using coffee as kind of like a Band-Aid solution, it might be time to kind of cut out the caffeine and the sugar and maybe work on other lifestyle and food changes to help support the body, rather than trying to just, Band-Aid over it. If you're having sleep issues, so people who are sensitive to caffeine, and if you're constantly having sleep issues, some people, even if they're just having half a cup decaf or even 1 cup of coffee in the morning, may still have effects into the night and overnight. So that's something to consider as well. Maybe cutting out caffeine for a few weeks and seeing if it makes a difference in your sleep. Hormonal imbalances. So caffeine actually has shown to have a pretty drastic influence on PMS and PMS symptoms. So if you're somebody who is having issues with PMS or those kind of things, cutting out coffee may actually help you. And that's the same with breast pain as well, because I mean, this one's a bit, there's some conflicting information around breast pain, but some women who are sensitive to caffeine will notice breast pain after just a small piece of chocolate or a cup of coffee. It's something that you wouldn't notice if you'd miss coffee one day, but you'd have to like cut it out for a few weeks to a month, maybe longer, to see a difference. But some women notice a big difference and lessening breast pain by cutting out coffee. Chronic UTIs. So caffeine can irritate the bladder and the urinary tract. So if you're someone who gets chronic UTIs, it may be something to try and see how that helps. Now, talking about all the things that I've mentioned, you have to take into consideration how you are and how things work in your body. And the best way to tell if something's going to work is just to try it for yourself. You know, for those of you that are kind of panicking and you love your caffeine, I'm not saying you have to cut it out. These are just some reasons why you might want to consider it, might want to try it out and experiment. You know, there are things in my life that I've had to cut out that I really, really love, like chocolate. I don't think it's a forever thing, but I've realized that every time I have it, it really, really is harsh on my nervous system. Same with caffeine. And it you know, the nervous system goes throughout the body. So it also, you know, it causes issue in my digestion because my nervous system is so sensitive that we do have nerves in the stomach and things like that. So I've realized that when I consume these things, it just irritates my body. And, you know, cutting it out for, 6 months to a year, which I know can seem such a long time, but it could also give the body a break and allow it to do what it needs to do. Rather than be constantly battling all of those things going on. And so I understand, it's not something you have to consider right away, but it's just something to keep in mind or something that you can try. So, I know all this information is confusing, but, I am here to help, and I genuinely do want to help people with their health. So, if you're looking for more guidance, maybe some more accountability, some more help with that, I'm always here. I can help people develop a plan on, how to help support your body with nutrition, with food and lifestyle choices, and help you to bring more awareness into your body, and help you to figure out that stuff. Because like I say, it's, more about, rather than focusing on what everybody is saying, you are the expert on your own body. But it can take some work to develop that self-awareness and figuring out what works for you. So I can, definitely help that out. So I'm always here. I, on a weekly basis, offer free 30-minute chats talking about all of your current health and lifestyle choices, food habits, and I can help you to determine what obstacles are keeping you from your goals and help you plan your next steps, and what changes to make to help you support your body for optimal health and help you feel more relaxed. So that chat is always available. If you're in this group, I'll post a link into this video after. And for those catching the replay for YouTube and such, the link is on my banner, and you can always message me or email me, and we can set something up. So I hope that was helpful. Any questions, comments, feel free to add them in, and I can definitely answer those. Any questions before I head off? Questions, any comments? right. Well, it seems like that is all. I love all feedback, so feel free to comment and ask questions. And I will talk to you soon. Until next time.